Do you also feel that time is slipping through your fingers like sand? Are you part of a race whose destination you probably don't even know clearly? It is a common experience that in today's life, we are searching for deeper meaning and purpose more than ever before. But just think, what if I told you that the ultimate peace and truth you are seeking outside has been within you for centuries, in a form that would truly astonish you if you knew it?
We are all somehow entangled in the daily hustle, stress, and countless responsibilities. Morning comes, the day fades, and in the silence of the night, there is often a feeling of emptiness. Despite having comforts and conveniences, there remains a strange restlessness, an unspoken thirst in the mind. Have you ever stopped to think why all this is so? Is the meaning of life just this? To be born, to struggle, and one day to depart? Or is there a deeper mystery, a truth hidden beyond our sight, within ourselves?
The illusion of existence. Why are we entangled? This confusion, this restlessness is very natural. We live in a world that constantly draws our attention towards external things and achievements. Society hands us some pre-made measures of success, such as money, position, and name. And we, knowingly or unknowingly, get caught up in the race to prove ourselves according to these standards. We look for happiness in external circumstances and often forget that circumstances are always changing. What brings joy today can become the cause of sorrow tomorrow.
We associate our identity with our body, our mind, our degrees, and our possessions. I am this body. I think this. I hold this position. Such thoughts further inflate our ego. And it is this ego that takes us away from our true nature. It is a thick layer of ignorance that prevents us from seeing the truth, just as dense clouds cover the sunlight. We either drown in worries about the coming tomorrow or under the burden of the past yesterday. This moment of today, which is the only truth of life, keeps slipping away from our grasp. We think that when we get something special or when a big goal is achieved, then we will be calm and happy. But that then never comes. One desire is fulfilled, and 10 new ones stand before us. It is an endless race that keeps leading us astray. Is this really the essence of life? Is there no way out of this confusion? Vedanta says there is a path, and that path is not outside, it is within you. The light of Vedanta. Introduction to self-knowledge. When all external solutions fail and the thirst of the mind remains unquenched, a person begins to look within. It is here that the philosophy of Vedanta guides us like a beacon of light. Vedanta, one of the highest peaks of Indian philosophy, deeply explores the fundamental questions of life. Who am I? What is this world? What is the purpose of my life? And the answer to all these questions is hidden in a single fundamental mantra: self-knowledge. Self-knowledge, that is, knowing your true self. The greatest message of Vedanta is Atmanam Vidhi, meaning, know your soul. This is not ordinary information. It is the realization that will reveal the entire truth of your existence before you. And as we said at the beginning, this truth can both surprise you and set you free. You might be thinking that I already know about myself, my name, my family, my work. But Vedanta says that this is just your external identity. Your true nature is much deeper, subtler, and eternal. That nature which no weapon can cut,
no fire can burn, no water can wet, and no wind can dry. In this discussion, we will try to understand this central principle of Vedanta, self-knowledge. We will learn what it is, why it is so important, and how it can change your life. Get ready to face a truth that may be beyond your imagination.
What is self-realization? Recognizing your true self. So what exactly is this self-realization? When Vedanta talks about the Atma, it refers to that consciousness or existence which is beyond our body, mind, and intellect. It is the ever-present, unchanging witness that observes all our experiences of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, yet remains unaffected by them. According to Vedanta, our true nature, our soul, is pure. Consciousness is its form. It does nothing, is inactive, is not connected to anything or anyone, detached, has no desires, and is supremely peaceful. Just imagine an existence that is completely free from any kind of deficiency, sorrow, or fear. This is your true self. There is a great saying in the Upanishads, Tat Tvam Asi. It means, you are that. Here, you refers to the individual soul, and that refers to the supreme Brahman, the ultimate truth, the cosmic consciousness that is the foundation of the entire universe. Vedanta declares that there is essentially no difference between the individual soul and the supreme soul. This is the principle of Advaita, that is, unity hidden within diversity. One thing must be clearly understood. The soul is not what we commonly call the I. Our ego or self is formed by associating itself with the body, mind, and intellect. This limited I is born, dies, and experiences pleasure and pain. But the soul, beyond this ego, is also beyond the cycle of birth and death. When the Upanishads say, Yastam Vedasa Vedavit, meaning the one who knows the self is the true knower of the Vedas, it means that merely knowing the words of the scriptures is not enough. Self-knowledge means directly experiencing that self-principle, recognizing it as your own existence. It is not just an exercise of the mind, but a deep realization, an insight that completely transforms you. Knowing that you are not just this limited body-mind, but that infinite, blissful, conscious soul is the beginning of self-realization. And when this knowledge becomes firm, it completely changes your entire perspective on life. Why is self-knowledge necessary? Its wonderful benefits. Talks about self-knowledge are not just to satisfy philosophical curiosity. They have very practical benefits that can change our lives. When you recognize your true nature, that unchanging, peaceful, and complete soul, the turmoil on the surface of life cannot shake you. The very first and most important benefit is inner stability and peace. Just as the depth of the ocean remains unaffected by the waves on the surface, similarly, a self-realized person feels a deep peace even amidst the ups and downs of life. Fear, anxiety, and insecurity, which constantly trouble our mind, gradually begin to weaken. Because the real cause of fear is considering yourself mortal and limited. When you realize your eternal nature, the fear of death becomes meaningless. You become fearless. Self-realization liberates us from ego, hatred, and attachment. When we identify our true self as the soul, the false identities connected to the body and mind begin to loosen. The sense of I and mine,
which is the root of all conflicts and sorrows, weakens. Likes and dislikes for others diminish because you start seeing the light of the same one soul element in everyone. A person who has attained self-knowledge performs their duties without any selfishness. They work, but do not attach themselves to the results of their work. Success and failure, honor and insult, these things do not trouble them. He views life as a game and plays his part with full skill and without any attachment. The Bhagavad Gita teaches this very principle of selfless action, which is based on the foundation of self-knowledge. Maintaining the same attitude in every situation of life is another important result of self-realization. Not being overly happy in happiness and not being overly sad in sorrow. This is called equanimity or Samatva Yoga. This can only happen when you find the source of your joy within yourself, rather than in external things or circumstances. According to Vedanta, it is not necessary to wait for death to attain liberation or nirvana. Self-realization can provide the experience of liberation while still alive. This is called living liberation. It is a state where a person, while living in the world, remains detached from it, like a lotus flower in water, without being affected. He experiences supreme freedom and bliss by being established in his true form. This is the power of self-knowledge, which frees us from our daily entanglements and establishes us in the everlasting truth. The path of self-knowledge. How to discover your truth. Knowing what self-realization is and how wonderful its benefits are, the question naturally arises, how can this supreme knowledge be attained? Vedanta provides a very clear path for this, which has three main stages: listening, Shravana, reflection, Manana, and deep meditation, Nididhyasana.
The first stage is Shravan. It means listening to the truth of Vedanta from the mouth of a qualified guru and reading main texts like the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutras. A guru is one who has attained self-realization and can easily explain the deep secrets of the scriptures. Shravan is not just listening, but a readiness to accept the truth with faith and concentration.
The second stage is contemplation. It involves deeply thinking and reflecting on whatever has been heard from the Guru and read in the scriptures. It means analyzing it logically, removing doubts, and ensuring that the knowledge does not remain merely intellectual, but becomes a part of our understanding. Through contemplation, we test the truths we have heard against the criteria of our reasoning and experience. It is a process of self-discovery, where we ask ourselves questions like, who am I? What is this world? What is God? The third and most important stage is Nididhyasana. It means continuously and unwaveringly concentrating the mind on the truth that has been believed through listening and reflection. It is a kind of deep meditation where the practitioner fixes their consciousness on the meaning of Mahavakyas like Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, or Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Through Nididhyasana, the knowledge heard, indirect knowledge, transforms into direct experience. It is here that the realization of the self takes place. Apart from these three main means, some other helpful methods are also mentioned in Vedanta that make the journey of self-realization easier. Satsang, associating with self-realized people and those who desire to know the truth. Satsang infuses good energy within us and strengthens the feelings of detachment and discernment. Good conduct, living a moral and pure life. Observing the yams of truthfulness, non-violence, non-stealing, celibacy,
and non-possessiveness, as well as the niyamas of cleanliness, contentment, austerity, self-study, and surrender to God, is essential for the purification of the mind. The light of self-knowledge shines only in a pure mind.
Application of knowledge in practice.
Vedanta is not just bookish knowledge. It is learning that everything appears different from the outside, but inside, all is one Brahman, living in the world with this perspective. Seeing one's own self-element in all beings and having feelings of love and compassion for everyone is the true way to bring knowledge into life.
This path is traveled slowly and requires patience and true dedication.
But not a single step taken on this path goes to waste. Every effort brings you closer to your true self.
The saga of transformation. When truth does not shock, it liberates.
When we say, your truth will astonish you, it doesn't just mean to surprise. This astonishment is like waking up from a deep sleep in which we had accepted our limited identities as everything. Initially, the idea that I am not this body, not this mind, but the infinite soul can challenge our common beliefs and may even cause some discomfort. Just imagine a person who has considered themselves a beggar all their life and suddenly finds out that they are the heir to a great empire. At first, they would not believe it. They would be surprised. But when they fully understand this truth, how big a change will come in their life. Their helplessness, their insecurity, their sense of lack, all of it will end. Self-knowledge is somewhat like this. We consider ourselves slaves to circumstances, puppets of desires, and helpless beings trapped in the cycle of birth and death. But when the knowledge of Vedanta makes us realize our true divine nature, this astonishing truth frees us from all bonds. History is filled with countless examples of saints, sages, and wise men who, by walking the same path of self-realization, attained supreme bliss. Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Vivekananda, Shankaracharya, all of them demonstrated through their lives and teachings that self-realization is not just a philosophical idea, but a living reality that any sincere seeker can experience. Their life shows how self-realization leads a person from fear to fearlessness, from unrest to ultimate peace, and from bondage to eternal freedom. The truth that initially shocks is the very thing that ultimately places us in our own magnificent form. This is not an external success, but rather like returning to one's own home, the home that we never actually left, but had simply forgotten. This journey, the journey of self-realization, begins from within you. Today, at this very moment, you can decide to try to know your true self. If these things arouse some curiosity in your mind, then read the Vedanta texts, seek guidance from a qualified teacher, or start practicing meditation and self-reflection. You can also find a lot of information on this subject from reliable sources on the internet. If you found this discussion informative and want to hear more on such deep topics, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends and family who might need it. Your suggestions and questions mean a lot to us, so be sure to write them in the comment box. So the essence of the matter is that the fundamental mantra of Vedanta, self-knowledge, teaches us that the greatest quest in life is the quest for oneself. The astonishing truth, which we mentioned at the beginning, is that you are not who you have understood yourself to be until now. You are far more vast, far more wonderful, and far more eternal than that. Amidst the daily complexities and challenges, this knowledge can guide you like a North Star. It will keep reminding you that within you lies an infinite treasure of peace, joy, and freedom, just waiting to be discovered. Your truth will surely surprise you, but more importantly, it will set you free. Have the courage to know that truth, for it is the greatest purpose of your life. Thank you.